welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all doing very well. I'm doing very well because I'm excited because this week on Saturday, the 24th of June, between the hours of 7 PM and 10 PM BST, it's Cosy Reading Night, but even better than it being Cosy Reading Night, it's Independent Bookshop Week Cosy Reading Night. So for the past few years, I've worked with Books in My Bag and celebrated Independent Bookshop Week by hosting a Cosy Reading Night on the last day of that celebratory week. Today's video is me going to an independent bookshop and getting my TBR for that night. So I'm very, very excited because David and I are off to Hurrah today to go to the little green bookshop and get myself a TBR. So I thought I'd use this as an opportunity to talk about what I'm maybe in the market for, and then you'll come along with David and I to Hurrah for the day, chips on the beach hopefully, ice cream, little wander up and down the seafront, to the bookshop, which is the most exciting thing, and then I'll wrap everything up at the end with what I've bought. So we're off to the bookshop. The two things that I'm mainly in the market for today, well, three things because I want to get a book for David as well, but mainly I really want a copy of Yellowface by R.F. Kuang because that came out a couple of days ago and I am so excited for it. I read Babel earlier on this year and it was one of my favourite books of the year. And this sounds amazing. It's about plagiarism and literary competition and oh, it just sounds so fabulous. So I'm really, really hoping that they've got copies of that in store. And I'm also in the market for a cookbook. Now, I'd prefer a vegetarian cookbook, always, but if they've got a cookbook, if they've got cookbooks which have got good vegetarian sections in, I'm happy to go for that as well, because on Independent Bookshop Week Cosy Reading Night, I like to cook something from the cookbook that I've bought. I think last year I got a vegetarian Mexican book, and if I remember rightly, I made loads and loads of dips, which are the perfect reading food because you can literally be like... So yeah, cookbook and Yellowface and a book for David. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited to get going. So do you want to come along? I've got me, so kindly, Independent Bookshop Week have given me a book token to spend today. So that will go towards my books today. And then I'm also taking, well, last year's Books in My Bag tote bag, but also this one from a few years ago because, to be honest, this could get filled and I might need a backup. So 2 bags, my book voucher, go and get my sunglasses on. I've already got my SPF on, and let's go and have a day by the seaside and do some book shopping. Come along. and home. What a lovely, lovely bookshop, and what lovely, lovely booksellers that work in there. I met the whole team, which was really, really lovely. As you'll see, they have a chap in there who plays piano while you're browsing, which is an absolute joy. So you probably would have heard a little bit of the old sort of bookshop ASMR of the booksellers greeting people as they come into the shop, and it was just warm, and it was just lovely, wasn't it, David?
Really nice.
They couldn't have made us feel more welcome. Every single book goal that I had today achieved, because, well, we'll talk through that in a minute, plus a few little extra bonus bits, which is really, really nice. And like I say, everyone was just amazing in there, and it had a lovely, lovely time. So, filled up my book bag. Let's talk about what we got. So, number one was that I wanted to get Yellowface. Guys, I got the last copy in there, and while I was in there walking around literally holding it, so I'm so pleased I picked it off the shelf, somebody came in and said, oh hi, have you got any copies of Yellowface? And they said, we've just sold the last one, and there I was sort of like holding it as I was walking around. And the great things about these independent bookshops is that they bend over backwards to order you another copy, so that's what they did. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. Let me read you the blurb. Athena Lou is a literary darling, and June Hayward is literally nobody. White lies. When Athena dies in a freak accident, June steals her unpublished manuscript and publishes it as her own under the ambiguous name Juniper Song, dark humour. But as evidence threatens June's stolen success, she discovers exactly how far she will go to keep what she thinks she deserves. Deadly consequences. What happens next is entirely everyone else's fault. Absolutely. It sounds amazing. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So yeah, number one goal successful. The number two goal was that I wanted a cookbook in order to cook something for myself for Cosy Reading Night. I don't know what that something is yet, so although this is the TBR of what I've got planned reading for the Cosy Reading Night, you will have to tune in to see the vlog to see what I ended up picking. But this is your Daily Veg by Jo Woodhouse, modern fuss-free vegetarian food, and like, this was perfect. This is another thing about browsing in a bookshop. I had never even heard of this book, and on flicking through, oh look, they've left me some, this is the bookshop, some little art for the bookshop, and then I've got a little card as well, so that's lovely. I also got them, I know Minnie, they had a stamp, and I asked if they'd stamp all of my books with their little green bookshop stamp, which is lovely. So whenever I pick up one of these books, I'll think, oh yeah, that's where I got it from, Herne Bay. So yeah, I got this, and I'm going to be making something for the night. I mean, literally, they've got a whole chapter devoted to squash and pumpkin, so autumnal recipes, here we come. Pumpkin gnocchi with spinach sauce, whole roasted squash with blue cheese and walnuts, butternut squash, potato and red onion gratin. Something that got me excited early doors was this, potato and cheddar pie with apple sauce, which sounds so sort of like homely and comforting, but also sweet potato salad with loads of herbs and pink peppercorns. That sounds amazing. Roasted sweet potato, white beans and crispy sage with quick pickled red cabbage. Whole section on aubergines and peppers, not for David. David is not an aubergine liker. Onions and leeks, that is David's section. Steamed leeks in a honey and mustard vinaigrette with capers. Like, there's so much good stuff in here. Spelt with steamed leeks in a cavolo nero and lemon sauce. Oh, I just don't know. And is that, oh God, no, it's got a whole salad section. Tomatoes, sweet corn and mushrooms. They are David and my favourite things. I love tomatoes and mushrooms. His favourite is sweet corn. Tel Aviv tomato and basil salad with loads of garlic and tahini sauce. Tomato, herb and halloumi salad. Gazpacho. Oh God, yeah. So I'll be making something from this book on the night. I don't know what yet. Maybe a few things. I mean, one of my favourite things is to sort of like, oh my God, there's a broccoli quiche. I think I'll probably make the broccoli quiche, maybe with like some of the side salads. I think that's probably what will happen. And then the third goal was that I wanted to get David something. Well, David picked this himself, and this is another one that I've never even heard of. This is by Melissa Bank, and it's called The Girl's Guide to Hunting and Fishing. It's a very, very cute cover of these sort of like embroidered sort of girls' guides or brownie badges. Even the little penguin badge is a little little badge there. So it says, watching her elder brother fall in and out of love as a teenager, Jane Rosenthal, now older but not wiser, embarks on her own affairs. Navigating life in its perilous terrain of sex, love and the workplace, she searches for fulfillment, intimacy and a full-rounded life. As she experiences the tragicomic, the joys and the losses, from the gleeful weight of true love to the all-consuming nature of grief after death to the frustration of not being valued, she finds herself at cocktail parties and reads in a bizarre rulebook in Manhattan and on the coast of New Jersey, both alone and not. Big-hearted and sharply insightful, The Girl's Guide to Hunting and Fishing is unforgettably funny but also deeply moving and sensitive. Bank skillfully teases out universal issues with wit and candour, revealing the nuances of family, love, lust, societal expectations and what it means to come of age as a young woman and discover oneself. And this was on one of those, you know, like when you go into bookshops and they have like sort of curated tables. This was there and David picked it up. So yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? That is exciting. So those were my 3 goals, and then I also got, well, I got 3 more books. I'll show you this one first. I bought my niece a book because she loves a book. My mum takes her to the library every other week and she gets out basically the same book. We were with her yesterday getting books out, and she got out Peppa Goes to Ireland for like the 4th or 5th time, which, I mean, it's really fun looking. It's green and sparkly and it's got Peppa wearing a big green hat on the front. But there's so many beautiful children's books there, and like the footage that we filmed, I say we, David filmed, you would have seen beforehand. But I know that out of all of those books, this is the one that would excite her the most because she loves Bluey so much. So I bought Bluey, Barky Boats. Bluey and Mackenzie are excited to see their buddies, but will Mia and Captain still have time to play with them? So yeah, I bought that for her and she is gonna love that. But while I was buying that, the owner of the bookshop, who is just a complete babe, asked me if I wanted to get my niece one of these little bookmarks, which are so cute. They had all sorts, and like including little, I think it was a corgi and a unicorn. But look, this is a dragon head, and one end goes like at the top of the book, so she'll definitely use this as she gets older as well. And then the tail pokes out the bottom. Absolutely adorable. Reading has never been so furry, it says. So that was a lovely, lovely gift. And then also, she also gifted me this lovely bookmark, which I'd picked up for myself. I love bookmarks, I own loads, but all of the bookmarks there today, I hadn't seen any of them before. And this one, The Lovers, David and I actually have a print of that that we put out. Well, it's normally up there, but we've actually got 2 different ones out at the moment. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, well, I've absolutely got to have that. So yeah, I'll be using that on the night as well. And then the last 2 were books that I just sort of saw on the shelves and thought I must have. So the first one is one of these little penguin cloth bound classics. These are the new sort of seasonal editions they're bringing out, and this is one from the summer collection. It's actually called Summer and it's by Edith Wharton. I was really, really drawn to it because it was so beautiful, like, I mean, pink and yellow together, yes please. And it's got all of these books. I've got some of these from the autumn and winter collection that I still haven't read, so really cheeky of me to do this, but I read the first couple of lines and it just feels like it's going to be perfect to read on Independent Bookshop Week Cosy Reading Night, because listen to this. So this is chapter 1. A girl came out of Lawyer Royal's house at the end of the one street of North Dormer and stood on the doorstep. It was the beginning of a June afternoon. The spring-like transparent sky shed a rain of silver sunshine on the roofs of the village and on the pastures and larch woods around it. I mean, that just sounds like perfect June reading, doesn't it? So yeah, I had to pick that up. And then the last one is one that keeps sort of like coming to me, and a few people have recommended it to me, and that's the Three Dahlias by Katie Watson. This is sort of a cosy crime book. So it says, one weekend convention, 3 very unconventional detectives, 3 rival actresses team up to solve the murder of the stately home of Lettice Davenport, the author whose sleuthing creation of the 1930s, Dahlia Lively, had made each of them famous to a new generation. In attendance at Aldermere, the VIP fans staying at the house, the fan club president turned convention organiser, the team behind the newest movie adaptation of Davenport's book, the Davenport family themselves, and the 3 actresses famous for playing Dahlia Lively through the decades. There is national treasure Rosalind King from the original movies, who's feeling sensitive that she's past her prime. TV Dahlia for 13 years, Caro Hooper, who believes she really is Dahlia Lively, and ex-child star Posy Starling, fresh out of the fame wilderness and rehab to take on the Dahlia mantle for the new movie, but feeling outclassed by her predecessors. Each actress has her own interpretation of the character and her own secrets to hide, but this English summer weekend, they will have to put aside their differences as the crimes at Aldermere turn anything but cosy. When fictional deaths turn into real bodies, can the 3 Dahlias find the answers to the murders among the fans, the film crew and the family, or even in Lettice's books themselves? I mean, I feel like I've picked such perfect summery books. So I think on the night, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with Yellowface because that is what I am most excited about. I'm going to cook something from your Daily Veg, probably that quiche and a salad, but not decided what yet. I might even split the night into 3 and read 3 books. I did also say I wanted to read one of the books from the Independent Bookshop Week Book Awards as well. I think I want to do that too. So do I want to split it? Which of these? Because these are both perfect summer reads. And then I also wanted to read one of the books. I don't know. So here I am saying that this is, I'm going to split the evening into 3. This I'm going to read for the first hour. Then I'll read one of these for the second hour, I don't know what. And then the last hour, I'll read one of the winning books from the Independent Bookshop Awards when they are announced. Now, that won't be, that hasn't happened yet when I'm filming this, so that'll be a surprise on the night. So come back for the surprise on the night, and then David will be reading The Girl's Guide to Hunting and Fishing. So yeah. Sounds like a bloody great night. Let me know down below what you're planning on reading. Let me know if you've been to an independent bookshop, what your favourite independent bookshop is. Would love to hear. And I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!